I'm Greg Vandagriff. This is my 20th year of coaching. I'm currently the defense coordinator at Woodward Academy in Atlanta, Georgia. Today we'll be talking about inside and outside linebacker drills. The way you'll use this video is all inside linebackers can use these drills. Mostly the outside linebackers are for 4-4 defense, or guys that play 5-5 on the line of scrimmage. All our linebackers align at 5 yards from the line of scrimmage with their heels at 5. Our reads are basically a primary to a secondary read, meaning our linebacker is going to look at the fullback, and once the fullback takes a 45-degree angle step or a 90-degree angle step or a straight downhill, whichever way he steps, our linebackers will then move their eyes to the line of scrimmage, reading those linemen. So meaning if the fullback steps to our left, both linebackers will take a 45 or a 90-degree step to their left. They'll check out the line of scrimmage. Either the offensive lineman will confirm that it is a play going to the left, because as you know, fullbacks either take you to the ball or they feel for a pulling lineman. So if he steps at a 45 to the left offensive tackle, our will linebacker would step at a 45-degree angle, look at the line of scrimmage. If the guard turns out, that's an isolation read. He would fill the line of scrimmage. If the guard comes straight at him, that would tell him that's an option read. And if the tackle or the guard were to pull, that would tell him that's a counter read. So again, we're looking for a confirmed read or a false read, meaning it's a pull. So what we do is, as we do these things, we set up drills where our linebackers are going to work on stepping at a 45 or stepping at a 90 or stepping straight downhill. We have a philosophy that most of you do have called open door, closed door, or a cloudy clear read, according to your verbiage. What an open door means is if the offensive lineman blocks down, like the guard blocks down, the tackle turns out, then our will linebacker will step straight into the hole, because that's an isolation read, meaning they're isolating on him. If he steps straight ahead at a 45, the fullback's at a 45, and the tackle is at him, then he would scrape outside. We call that a scrape and replace philosophy, which it helps you if you're typically one of those assignment playing defenses. Then this helps you defeat those kind of people that can block your assigned players. And then if you get a counter read, then we will step and replace and scrape to the other side of the line of scrimmage. If you play assignment football where the end has the quarterback and the inside linebacker has the fullback, then what happens is, good coordinators like Paul Johnson of Tech or some of those other guys, they're going to read and see who you have assigned to that player, and they're just going to block them. So if you're playing assignment football with that philosophy, the problem is, most will linebackers are not bigger than the offensive tackle, so the offensive tackle comes off, blocks the fullback assigned player, and the fullback rushes for 200 yards that night. Well, a few years back, when I first started coaching under Mike Smith for the Falcons today, he was in college. I coached with him, and we had a scrape and replace philosophy, and what that meant was if the fullback stepped at a 45-degree angle, then our linebacker will step at a 45-degree angle, read the offensive tackle. If the tackle's coming straight into the linebacker, then he will step outside and replace the alignment of the defensive end. The defensive end will squeeze, taking the fullback, and now the will linebacker will scrape and take the quarterback. This is sort of what we term scrape and replace. And this has allowed us to be successful defending the option and allowing our 170, 180-pound linebackers to be successful against 270-pound offensive linemen. As we do our read drills, our fullback to line of scrimmage, what we do, these are drills you can do during pre-practice, or you can do the first minute or two. We line our kids all up just in a line. I'm 5 yards from a cone here, which is line of scrimmage, and this is actually the secondary part of it, meaning we put an offensive lineman in there, and as you can see, I put a coach over there. All I'm going to do is I'm going to step straight ahead at them. I'm going to step at a 45, or I'm going to step at a 90. What the coach is going to do is, I've told him, or he knows, if I'm stepping at a 45, he's either going to step straight at them, he's going to turn out, or he's going to pull. So as you can see here in this video, this first one here, I step at a 45. See, I step at a 45. If you'll notice, they all stepped with their mirrored foot. These are play side. This is backside. The guys to my right are play side. And so that's a turnout by the offensive tackle. So he's working straight downhill. He's working downhill, and these guys are trying to clear the center. Okay? Then we'll just say reload, get them over there. Again, I step at a 45. This time the coach steps straight ahead, and they should all yell option. As they yell option, that should tell play side, which are the two guys to my right, they should scrape outside that offensive tackle. And then the backside guys, remember, are trying to beat the center, and then they're working inside out to the fullback. Okay? And, some kid threw a scrape there, as you can see. This last one, again, I step at a 45. It's the same play option. The kids to my right, they threw their arms and ripped inside out. Now this one, I step at a 45. They all counter step me or mirror step me. Now the offensive tackle is pulling, so they should step left foot to the 45, redirect with the right, and try to cross the face of the next lineman. And as you see, they step left foot, and they're redirecting with the right, working downhill. Okay, and again, there they are as toss sweep, and they work down. Everybody tried to scrape and work straight ahead. What we then progress to in our drill sequence with during individual, we will get our Mike and Will to, like, the first group's up at 5 yards, the second group's up at 10 yards, meaning 5 yards behind. They're sort of taking a one-step mirror step of the group in front of them. We set up a half line, meaning we set up a guard and tackle and a fullback, and then we tell those kids to do those basic drills we've already worked on. This video is our half linebacker drill. So as we progress in these drills, these are half line work. What we do here is I'll take, like, the starting Mike and Will, and I'll put them over there, and then I have a simulated center, guard, tackle, and a fullback. Okay, I'll stand in the back and I'll tell them what to do. I'll just point and say, hey, you block down, you go straight out, you run a 45. Okay, and I'll stand in the back and real quickly move it, or you can do a card, however you want to do it. So as we're going here, okay, if you notice, the coach has stepped at a 90. Okay, that's toss sweep read. This kid, the toss sweep read and the option read for him are still across the face of the tackle. The backside linebacker's got to beat this center right here. So they're going to take off running, and he beat play side offensive tackle. This next one here, okay, look, the coach has stepped at a 45. We have a pull. Both linebackers will step left, and redirect. Okay, this play side, if you noticed, he read it so quick, he didn't even have a left. He didn't step with his left because he read the pull and he worked downhill immediately, and that's a good read. As they get better, they won't take 2 steps. The backside will automatically read it and take off. Again, we have a step with a pull, so that's a false read, meaning he stepped, he's filling for a pulling lineman, so we should get a left step, take off with our right. And they did. Okay, in our scrape drill, what we're doing is we bring down a fullback, 3 linemen, we have a step at a 45, and the play side linebacker has to beat the play side tackle, and then the backside linebacker has to beat the center. So as you can see here, the Mike is going to scrape immediately outside the tackle, and the Will is trying to beat the center. Now, what we tell the backside linebacker is sometime the center will get up real fast. If kids have athletic centers, as their center gets up high, then you can backdoor the center. And we allow them to make that judgment. Realize that sometimes it's going to work, sometimes it's not. So here, as you can see, he backdoored the center on that one there. Play side almost always beats the tackle, but backside backdoored it. Okay, the scrape drill. In the scrape drill, we have our 3 linemen and 2 linebackers. The coach is going to step at a 45 to the right or 45 to the left, and the kids are going to react. Okay, as you can see, he steps left, play side tackle comes off, center comes off, backside linebacker's got to beat the center, play side's got to beat play side tackle. Again, I just give them direction in the back real quick, tell them what to do. These 2 are live, he should be in a stance. He's messing up my drill. But again, we get a dip and a rip, and we come outside of that. They work the other way. If you see on this one, the center worked high, so the linebacker backdoored him. And that's perfectly legal. We're trying to get there as fast as we can. Okay, as you can see here in cloudy clear reads or open door, closed door, whatever you want to call it. In this play, this team's going to run like an ISO, but we get a stuff or a power. And this play side linebacker is going to step to try expecting to fill, and then everything is clogged, so he just scrapes to the first open door. And you'll see it right here. He's going to step. He's going to get a 45 read. See, it turns into a mess right here. So he just scrapes to the first open door, which is going to be the ball carrier. And he makes a nice inside-out read. Again, here, if I'm not mistaken, we're going to cross the kid's face, or just watch this play side linebacker. He's going to get an open door, and he's going to run right through it. Play side linebacker. Okay, see how we cross a face, or he beats him, however you want to look at it, and then he gets an open door here through B gap. We give our rover forcing it from the outside, and so he runs it inside out. Play side linebacker. That's an open door, closed door read for him. Okay, again, you need to watch the footwork on this backside linebacker. He shuffles really well inside out. Watch, see, he pauses. He's pausing in this open door here because he's not sure if this kid's going to back up. Remember, backside linebacker is never going to cross the face of the backside running back. They're both working like Batman and Robin, inside out on this play. See, he paused. Now he's shuffling across. He's pausing to the next open door, and then they both hit him and knock him down. It's really good footwork on those two kids. Okay, this is a counter play. If you'll check out backside, this is backside because he's going to step. We're going to get a pull here by the guard. He's going to step and run right through. Now he loses his feet, but he gets a perfect read right there of working that inside out. Okay, defending specific plays. During this video, what I wanted to do is more so than your typical presentations. You get all this drill work, but you never get to see how it applies in the game. So what I did was I defined isolation, meaning the fullback isolating on the play side linebacker. The way we play it is our play side linebacker has to hit the fullback with his right inside shoulder, always keeping his outside arm and leg free, and the Mike linebacker or backside linebacker has to scrape across the face of the center, has to beat the center into the hole, and hit the fullback with his left shoulder. Meaning, I tell them they're like Batman and Robin. They're always hitting each player together as a unit, meaning one's on the left side of the fullback and the other one's on the right side of the fullback. As you can see on our ISO reads, our play side linebacker is going to hit the fullback with his right shoulder, and our Mike is going to cross the center's face here, and this is an example of it. Okay, our ISO drill, our linebacker is going to work inside out around the dummies here, hitting right shoulder to right shoulder as they'll come. As you can see there, and then the next group goes. And they'll go right to right, and then they come back going left to left. This is isolation, again, where the fullback's going to isolate on play side or backside linebacker. As you watch the play here, they both should hit it inside out. Okay, again, here comes play side linebacker. They wrap their backside guard like a lot of teams, and both kids hit it inside out. Again, we're going to get an inside out. Both linebackers working inside out on it, on ISO. Again, we just watch the Mike and Will versus where the play side linebacker goes, or the fullback goes, excuse me. Okay, they're going to work left. Both these guys are going to run through B gap to the left side. Okay, on this play, it's a pro twins, but the Z's going to come in motion. He's going to stay inside like a fullback. So again, we're going to play this like ISO. Watch the play side linebackers. Watch inside linebackers here. We'll get an outside read. Both of them, Mike and Will, right on the tailback, which is what we expect. Okay, scrape and replace option. As you can see here in the slide, the scrape and replace, the offensive tackle inside releases and works to the play side Will linebacker, and the Will, once he'll step at a 45, mirror stepping the fullback, and look at the line of scrimmage. His secondary read is the tackle coming towards him. He will step, scrape, dip, and rip with his inside shoulder and work outside the defensive end. As he does this, he's going to come tight. The things he has to do is sit down at the line of scrimmage, meaning slow it down, because the quarterback, a lot of times will try to cut back off the option. The backside Mike, what he has, we tell them that he's got to beat the center, and then he's going to check the fullback before he goes to the quarterback, because in case that end was to miss him, which he shouldn't, but again, it happens, he's going to CYA the defensive end, cover his butt, and the Mike's going to work inside out, hitting the fullback, and if the fullback's already tackled, time he gets there, he'll scrape on across to the quarterback. Okay, and scrape and replace, what we talked about, the end's going to squeeze and the will is going to replace him, okay? So as the end squeezes this tackle, the will steps outside, Mike works inside out, end takes dive, will takes quarterback. Okay, scrape and replace linebacker play, video, this is game video. As I explained this, I have this in slow-mo here. This is probably, I say, the best we've ever played it. This end is going to squeeze and take this dive, and he's going to scrape and take quarterback. I'm just going to let it play through again. It's slow-mo. There's the dive, and here's the linebacker coming to take quarterback, and the quarterback's trying to pitch it, and like I told our kids, in a perfect world, I don't feel like we can get much better than that. Both those kids hit with the ball on the ground. But again, if you have a reason why officials are inept, this is a good play to explain it, and I'll show you here in a second. If you'll watch this play again, watch what the official calls here. Incomplete pass. Yeah, on option. Okay, but that's scrape and replace linebacker play. Defining the midline, as we defend the midline, it's basically just a more downhill, precise scrape than the veer or outside, option plays. What the Mike would do is the difference is he gets a downhill read from the fullback, meaning a straight ahead read. So backside, and the way you determine backside is if the butt faces the backside linebacker, he knows that the quarterback's pivoting, opening up, letting the fullback run downhill. And as the fullback runs downhill, then the nose has to squeeze, remember, off of a 3 technique. 90% of the time, option midline is running to the play side 3, and the Mike or the will has to replace that 3 technique. On midline with custom animation, again, just to show you, the nose is going to squeeze, the Mike's going to replace that guard, and the will's going to run inside out here. So as the play develops, he gets the guard in his face, end's going to squeeze, Mike's going to take the quarterback, will's going to work inside out for the fullback. Okay, midline video here, game video, as we show you, should be exactly the same as the veer. It's just a tighter downhill run for our linebackers. So if you watch it here, I think they're going to open up. It's either play side or backside. Let's see here. Okay, as they open up, this is backside, this is play side. He's going to run immediately and replace this 3 technique and go right through B gap. And he does it perfectly and takes the quarterback there. Again, watch the backside here. He's going to run downhill, fullback's taken, he's going to scrape, and he actually beats, watch the backside, he actually beats the play side because the play side gets caught up with the blocker. Okay, again, here's the Mike, and we're going to get a midline read. We're going to show you here the tight copy. Okay, we're going to get a 3 squeezing. The Mike's going to run right through this B gap, beating the fullback, trying to block him. See, that's the Mike tackling the quarterback there. Again, they run it, and that's the Mike tackling him. You'll see it here off the tight copy. With the wide and the tight example, they're going to block here, inside release the 3 technique. The Mike's going to come immediately to the quarterback. Okay, a base scheme versus the option, or a give scheme, as you want to, whatever your terminology may be. A give scheme, 1 out of 10 teams or 1 out of 8 teams may run it. With a give, the offensive tackle is going to turn out. If they see your wheel scraping and you have a scrape and replace philosophy, then they're going to base you, or a good team would call base just to keep you honest. So we would determine at base, and again, my belief is terminology is the greatest barrier in coaching. I call it this, you call it that. We don't know what each other's talking about. So a base scheme, what I'm going to determine a base scheme, meaning they block big on big, or the offensive tackle is going to block the defensive end, and the guard's going to block the offense or defensive tackle. In that situation, that's an ISO read to the play side linebacker. So as you can see in this slide, the tackle's going to block out, the guard's going to block down. You're going to get a 45 read from the fullback. The linebacker steps at a 45 and reads. This is where you determine if your kid is really playing the drill, or he's really reading the thing, meaning that tackle turns out, he should step in and it should be an ISO read to him. Okay, your question may be, what they base and keep it? Well, if they base it, the wheel would step inside, and that's basically a switch on who we're going to defend or how we're going to take the option, meaning Will gets an ISO read, the end would step outside to the quarterback, and the end would then be on the quarterback in option. In the base option, the tackle's going to turn out on the end. Will's going to read it like an ISO. Mike's going to run inside out, puts the end on the quarterback, Mike or the Will on fullback here, as you see in the animation. He's going to turn out. Will's going to run downhill through B gap. That should be an ISO read. Okay, defending power. What we call power is where the tackle's going to inside release and go to the play side linebacker, and the fullback is going to lead and kick out the defensive end. You may call that a kick or something else of that nature. What we tell our play side linebacker on power, it's a 45 read, and again, we'll have to rep it that week. What he'll get is a 45 read, and the difference is the tailback's working downhill as opposed to working at a 90 for option, and the quarterback's taking the ball off the line of scrimmage. So the wheel would step outside laterally one step, and then he works back down inside. So what's going to happen, as this custom animation shows here, the end would squeeze, the wheel steps outside the offensive tackle, and then squeezes back inside the hole. And here's a video example of us defending power in a game situation. Okay, and this is defending the power or kick, whatever you may call it. That's a quick play, I apologize. But these are the linebackers coming here, and we're going to get a scrape by the Mike, and I got a couple other better plays. We got a scrape by the Mike. Okay, look, they're going to run play side. This is the Mike, and that's the backside wheel. We'll have a tight to a wide. But if you watch it, and the backside wheel can get there. Again, they're coming play side. They're going to double team down. So they're double teaming down. They're going to kick the Sam now, pulling the backside guard with the Mike just scraping all the way to it, and that's the backside wheel. It's a 1 yard gain. We'll take that. Again, here's Mike. Team running power out of the bone. We got a little Will X, but Mike's coming, and he just runs to the play side. Cloudy clear, open door, closed door. Same thing again, running power out of a strong set. It's backside linebacker running open door, closed door with a Sam scraping. Counter tray. Counter, as you know and I do, the fullback's going to either take you to the play or he's going to feel for a pulling lineman. So we would both take a 45-degree step towards the counter. In this example, we would step left. The left tackle pulls. We will redirect and then come downhill inside out, working back to the right side of the ball. Okay, counter trap custom animation. We're going to step at a 45. The tackle's going to pull. We'll redirect and cross our face. So as we would step, the wheel's going to now beat the center, and the Mike's got to beat the backside tackle. Okay, the video on reading counter trap, it's hard to get both of them being perfect every time. But as you watch it here, watch this backside wheel. Again, a lot of times the backside guy can see the guy across his face immediately, and you'll see it here on the tight copy. We're going to get a pull here, and the backside wheel is going to run across the center's face immediately. So here comes backside. That's backside right there. Now he misses the tackle, but again, you got to get him there to be successful. Here, this is counter trey coming to him. The play side sees it and the backside doesn't see it. He doesn't make the play, but again, just trying to get you the reads. Getting them there is half the battle. So see, he steps and he's sitting right on the ball. Pass drop drills. We believe, obviously there are reactionary plays in football. The pass drops are 3-step drop, 5-step drop, sprint out, or bootleg. We determine sprint out and bootleg is basically the same play. So as we do our 3-step drop drill, we call it the quick game, meaning, the quarterback's going to get rid of the ball, 1, 2, 3, and he's got to throw, basically he's going to throw 3 routes. He's going to throw the hitch, the slant, or the fade. Hitch and goes, those things out and up are the same play to us. So in a quick game, the only play that the inside linebackers can affect are the slants. So as soon as they take a step forward, as soon as the quarterback hits his 3rd step, they're going to run over their outside shoulder at a 45-degree angle towards the slant on their side of the ball. So as we do our 3-step drill, quarterback goes 1, 2, 3, and he'll throw the ball either to his right or to his left. Each linebacker should work over their opposite outside shoulder to a 45. Here is another clip sort of showing it with a full-size or a skelly team, meaning a pro set alignment, 3-step drop, showing you how they're trying to affect that. Here's some video inlaid of the 3-step drop drills that we were in the gym. The quarterback will go 1, 2, 3, or the coach, he'll go 1, 2, 3, and then they'll take a step, pause, and run over their outside shoulder. Okay, defending the boot. For the last 10 or so years, we have decided, or maybe longer than that, but we have decided anytime a team boots out or sprints out, we're going to send play side linebacker. This by far is one of the best things we do. Of the things we don't do well, this is definitely one of the best ones that we do well. Our philosophy is, as that kid's going to sprint out, as soon as he clears the defensive end, we're sending play side linebacker to hit him. We tell them, never put your hands up. We don't want to put our hands up and knock the ball down. We would like to we would like to hit the kid as hard as we can, running like a heat-sickened missile. Okay, when we defend the boot, we're going to fake toss or whatever, and the coach rolls out. When he clears the tackle box, both linebackers will drop, and then he will come, play side will come, and backside runs for the drag. In bootleg plays or sprint out plays, basically the backside third of the field is not defended unless you're playing John Elway's son, and then obviously you need to defend that. But, most of the cases we're not playing his son. So, again here in bootleg, this is just showing you where play side will come and backside runs for the drag right there, and that's what we're trying to get to. Because that tackles or that end is going to run a drag, they always have a dump player. Here's how we drill this, sprint out and boot. The difference between boot obviously is, you're going to fake, they're going to pause, play side's going to come, backside's going to run. And really the backside's just sort of mirroring you. Again, fake, pause, play side comes, backside runs. One more time. Play side comes, backside runs. And these are what we call reactionary plays. Here's video to it. All right, game video with reacting sprint out or bootleg. Again, a lot of times, here's play side we're watching. I mean, you would think it's a called blitz because these kids get here so fast. Watch this kid. And that's what we want. We want that kind of hit on the quarterback. Again, watch linebacker right here. We want him there as fast as he can get. Again, linebacker will get sprint out. Here, this play side will. Five-step drop drill. What we tell our linebackers to do anytime it's play action pass, meaning when the coach is taking the ball off the line of scrimmage with his back towards the linebacker and there's a tailback, or a one back sitting deep in the backfield, you take a step forward, pause, and you do not drop until the quarterback clears the running back. There's two real good reasons you need to do this. One, we never have to practice defending the draw, because if we're always going to sit in the box until the quarterback clears the deepest running back, that's always defending the draw. Secondly, once we sit in there, then we take off running over our outside shoulder. Okay, in our five-step drop or play action pass, the play side linebacker sits in there until the deepest running back is crossed. Once he's crossed, he'll turn over his outside shoulder. If the running back works to a flat, he'll go to the hook. If he doesn't, he stays he'll go to the curl. If he doesn't, he'll stay in the hook. Okay? We want our kids to peek and look around, like we tell them, like in basketball, when you're boxing somebody out, you got to peek and look around, trying to keep your eye on the quarterback and your eye on the nearest defender. Here's another custom animation clipping showing the full field, how we both try to do it and work inside out. Okay, again, this shows you when we drill it with both linebackers. We're going to drop. They're just working in and out if the quarterback and the running back stay in the middle. Five-step drop drills. Again, linebackers will stay inside. As you see, I have a running back. I'm going to cross the running back. They'll step, freeze. See, they're going to step, freeze, and then they'll run over their outside shoulders. And they'll read me working right or left. This is game video of us playing the draw, meaning we don't ever really work on it because we sort of feel like it's built into our play action pass drop drill. So anytime a team has draw here, see that running back holds, our linebackers are holding. See, he never clears them. We're sitting both. That's both Mike and Will tackling that kid. Again. Mike and Will, see, we got a sprint draw right here. See, our Mike and Will's already worked forward, and we make it for a loss. Okay, this portion of the video, we're going to talk about outside linebacker drills. Outside linebacker drills, these are mostly set up for 4-4 or 5-5 aligned linebackers, perimeter defenders. I believe you could do this out of the 3-5 as well. Our linebackers align at 5-5, meaning 5 yards outside of a C-gap defender, offender, and 5 yards off the line of scrimmage. Okay, in our normal alignment, we're 5-5, but when the ball goes to a hash, our kids adjust. The defender to the field will go to 7, and the defender to the boundary will go to a 5-2. What we do as our run drills, we believe all perimeter runs are all perimeter play by the Sammer Rover or our outside linebackers are reactionary plays, meaning toss, sweep, option. Those are reactionary plays, bootleg, sprint out. So every day we'll start out with these reactionary drills. The first one we do is a toss sweep drill. What we do is the coach will put cones out showing where the tight ends align and showing where the widest receiver or the number one receiver, as we would call, are aligned. We put a dummy up, one of those big heavy dummies where it's leaded at the bottom, but you don't necessarily know, again, as long as you have a dummy. And what we do is we turn, we fake like we're showing toss sweep, and we call these plays a fast flow play, meaning it's happening immediately. Our kid has to react immediately. Okay, the coaching points here on this fast flow play, the kid's he's going to drop step run to the inside leg of the fullback, and once he gets there, he's going to plant and work vertical. Okay, if you notice when he hit that, he planted and worked vertical. Our coaching points, the two coaching points, I think they're very important. The number one is he's going to reduce the run lane. So as he comes up, he doesn't run straight up the field. He'll run at a 45 towards the fullback, as close as he can to the tight end to reduce that run lane. And secondly, once he gets to the fullback, he's going to plant his inside leg and work vertical. So he should step, work at a 45. Once he gets to that fullback coming, he should work vertical. Because that vertical, what that does is as the running back's running, he's got to run that hump of that collision right there. He's got to run that hump, or he's going to get to it and work downhill. Either one of those are going to allow us to be successful defending the toss sweep. So we harp on that our success on perimeter runs are determined by the Salmon Rovers' ability to take out the fullback. So our toss sweep drill, we'll run it to the strong or the weak side. We will work one kid, then we turn and work the other kid, as you see in this custom animation clip here. Again, the dummies represent the fullback. Sam will drop, step, and go. Rover, drop, step, and go. Okay, here's some game video of us, attacking toss sweep. You want to watch play side Sam here. He's going to attack it, work upfield to make sure the ball doesn't get outside of him. Again, they're going to work it, and our rover's going to come outside, attacking it right there. And we're going to make sure the ball works inside of him. Again, this is play side Sam. Play side Sam. Again, up top you'll see play side Sam. But we're going to come and, if we take him out, go to the ground, that's all fine. This will be the rover coming right here up top, I believe. See how hard he comes right there? Okay, we treat speed option the same as toss sweep, meaning we're going to come immediately through the fullback to the running back, and that will be a keep read unless they're not blocking the end here. They're basing the end on this one, as you'll see. Here comes speed. That's toss sweep to him, and he comes immediately. As you'll watch, they're going to base the end, so he comes immediately with a toss sweep read. It says the toss sweep read to him. Again, up top, watch the Sam. He gets the toss sweep read. He goes immediately to the pitchman. Up top, fullback. It's a toss sweep read to him. Again, you'll see it here. That's the wheel. Here's the rover. Ian takes it. There's the wheel running. The rover's going to set the outside. That's out of trips. Here it comes here. Just showing you our corner takes a bad angle, or it should be a no play. The rover came immediately. As you see on the tight copy, Ian's going to take wheel comes, the rover's there, and our corner takes a bad angle. Just wanted to show you, hey, we don't make it perfect every time either. Option. Our option drill, again, the coach is going to come out and set up the drill. If we have running back examples, meaning there's enough other Salmon Rovers can work, we always rotate them through. But if not, then the coach just works it on air. What we do in cover 3, as you can see in the video example here, the kid is going to come up, he breaks down at the line of scrimmage. As a coach, you run at him, run at the kid, and then you're going to give a pitch look like you're pitching the ball. As the Sam runs up, he's going to break down at the line of scrimmage, and then he works laterally down the line going to where the running back's going to be. As you see in custom animation here, we set up a cone on the outside where that kid sprints up, breaks down at the line of scrimmage, and then runs straight to the other cone. What we tell them, this is like the Cowboys and Indians back in the day, where you're going to meet them at the pass. Don't go where they're going, meet them at the pass. Meaning, a lot of times your kid will run up to pitch, and then he'll go where the kid's going or where he's been, as opposed to go straight down the line of scrimmage. We tell the backside kid to fold over. What fold over means is he shuffles 2 steps outside, then he opens up and looks back. Our backside Salmon Rover, away from the ball, always has counter, cutback, and reverse. Okay, let me say that again. Backside has counter, cutback, and reverse. That way, we always show 1 reverse play during the week and 1 halfback pass play. Because if you don't, that's called coaching. That's not because they can't read the play. That's because you don't show them the play. Okay, 9 technique drills. We have our Salmon Rover play at the line of scrimmage against teams that are running to the tight end side a lot or have a 2 tight end set. We'll put our Salmon Rover at the 'line of scrimmage. Now, we understand our Salmon Rovers, kids that are having to cover a halves or play curl flat, aren't going to match up with 6'4", 240-pound tight ends. We clearly understand that. So what we work on when we're at the line of scrimmage is, 1, the kid can never get reached, and then 2, if we get a down block, we squeeze as hard as we can. Now, if that tight end decides he's going to turn us out, well, he probably will turn us out or a drive block, because that's not the matchup we're trying to win. We're trying not to let them reach us, and we're trying not to let them double team the 5 technique without our Rover or Sam coming hard and blowing up the fullback. And in those ways, we are successful. So what we do when we bring our Salmon Rover to the line of scrimmage, we work on the down block, meaning the tight end goes down inside to the 5 technique, the defensive end, or he blocks inside to the linebacker. As you see on custom animation, he's going to squeeze this guy right here, keeping his shoulders parallel to the line of scrimmage. As we progress on this drill, we'll have a coach back there. We'll have the 9 technique step down inside, and if the coach steps to the play side Salmon Rover, then the Rover will step off and take the coach, or that would be the coach meaning the fullback, as you can see in the custom animation drill here. If I get a fullback stepping to me, I step off and take the fullback. If I get the fullback stepping away from me, I'll fold over. The drive block, where the kid's just trying to drive him off the line of scrimmage or turn him out, we just ask our Salmon Rover, they're going to get down in a stance like this. We tell them, the closer you get to the line of scrimmage, the more you read the guy you're aligned on. So if the Rover is at the line of scrimmage, we're in a 9 technique, we're looking at the V of the neck of the tight end. If we're at 5 and 5, then we look at the quarterback, and we read quarterback to fullback or number 2, meaning the tight end. So when we're in a 9 technique, we're up there, our hands are in front of us, our eyes are on the V of the neck of the tight end. If he steps at me, I'm working my hands inside on the steering wheel. Pull, we're going to push-pull, meaning as he's trying to lock me out, I'm going to lock my inside arm, and I'm going to pull his soft shoulder, okay, or vice versa. If he's trying to turn me out, okay, his hard shoulder will be his outside. I would pull this shoulder and lock my inside arm to keep his shoulders parallel and keep my head in D gap, or the outside arm and leg free philosophy, same as we talked about inside linebackers. Okay, on a drive block, again, we're trying to keep our shoulders parallel, not get turned out, and that would be an example, keeping our outside arm and leg free. When do we cross the face of the tight end? As you see in this custom animation, once the ball clears the tight end or the guy I'm on, that's when I would cross and go inside. Once he clears him, not when I think he clears him, but once he clears him. Like if he was there, he wouldn't cross his face early. We're going to lock that kid out. As the ball crosses inside of us, then we'll cross the face of that tight end and go to the ball. We do not, what happens with a lot of kids, they'll lock it out, the ball's coming, they believe it goes inside, and they'll come in here to cross the face, and the running back will bounce outside, pin him, and then we have nobody outside. Remember, if you're in a gap responsible team, you've got your C gap player is your end, your D gap player is your Salmon Rover. We're sitting there as a Salmon Rover, and if we try to cross too early, then we have 2 guys inside, and obviously they're successful in that play, and we're not. In a reach, where the offensive tight end's trying to put his head on our outside shoulder, what we tell our kids, we go a 9 technique, we don't split the crotch. We put inside foot to outside foot on the tight end. As we put our inside foot to our outside foot, we're down looking at the 45 of that tight end. If he even looks like he's stepping towards us, we dip and rip and run straight up field. Meaning we're running to the deepest running back, because we believe an outside release or a 90-degree step by that tight end is either a zone or it's a reach. So either one of those, we are not allowing that kid to get outside. So as soon as we get any kind of lateral movement, we rip at a 45, go vertical, as you can see on this custom animation, and work straight upfield. Reach block, if he's trying to work my outside half, here for custom animation, I'm going to rip and run and go as deep as the deepest running back. Rip and run, go as deep as the deepest running back. Here's some 9-technique video of a down block by the rover. Now what I'm showing you here is, we're at the line of scrimmage. We're going to get a down block, so we're going to attack the next guy, which will be the fullback right here. So watch this rover. This is actually first play of the game in this game. Okay, the tight end, watch the Sam. He's going to read this tight end block right here. We're not even real close to him. We're just on the line of scrimmage, still doing the same reads. He gets a turnout, or he reads as a turnout, so he goes around him and just becomes an athlete. We're going to get a reach block to the rover side, which is right here. That would be meaning he's going to try to get to his outside half of this rover. So he reads outside, he's going to work to the deepest back, which will force the running back down inside and allows everybody else to react. Anytime we get sprint out, play side Sam or rover is going to work to the flats. And we're talking about this Sam right here. When we get sprint out, he's going to work to the flats. See, he's going to run to the flats. See how he's trying to get his head out there? He's running to the flats. Again, if we get sprint out, he'll go to the flats right here. Good things happen when you do what you're supposed to. Our pass drop drills, again, we'll go back to the same thing we talked about with the inside linebackers. We have 3-step drop, sprint out, and those are reactionary plays, meaning it doesn't matter if it's cover 2 or cover 3. We are immediately going to react to these plays. 3-step drop, our Sam or rover can only affect one pass route, and that's the hitch. So our kids, will line up, they're looking at the quarterback, they'll take their shuffle read steps. Once the kid steps at 3 steps, they work straight down the line of scrimmage for the hitch, and I'll show you some of that. Sprint out. In sprint out, again, it's going to defend a third of the field. So we go straight to the flat, which is the first read, the fullback to the read, or somebody running the out. Okay, in our drill work, we have the coach line up. He'll line up, he'll go 1, 2, 3, 3 steps. The Sam or rover will shuffle at a 45 over their outside shoulder. They're keeping their shoulders parallel to the line of scrimmage, moving their hips. And then once the quarterback or coach stops at 3 steps, they sprint the hitch. Some coaching points on that. As the Sam or rover goes to the flats, he's lying there. He runs over his outside shoulder. As the ball crosses his face, it takes him to the hitch if the quarterback or the coach is throwing the hitch. Okay, the cone represents C-gap defender, represents wide receiver. The widest one does. When the coach goes 1, 2, 3, the Sam will sprint the flat. So he'll go 1, 2, 3, Sam sprints the flat. Okay, again, this is just a full field version of it where, the widest cones are the receivers, inside cones are C-gap defenders. When the quarterback goes 1, 2, 3, Sam rover will sprint the flat. Okay, in a 3-step drop video, what we're going to do here is coach is going to go 1, 2, 3, or you'll get 1, 2, 3 read, and you're going to read the Sam running from outside. So he's getting the 3-step drop, so he's sprinting the flat, trying to get the ball thrown over his head. Okay, defending bootleg and sprint out. Anytime we get bootleg or sprint out, okay, remember play side linebacker's coming. Well, the outside play side linebacker he'll shuffle. Once he gets a sprint out with the quarterback coming to his face, then he first goes to the flat, okay, because the flat is the first read. Remember bootleg, they're always clearing, and then they're going to dump it out there to that running back. So we go to the flat first. If the ball's not dumped to the flat, then he's going to backpedal. Why? Because if there's not a flat offender, the running back in front of him, then that means there's a 12-yard out behind him. So as he works to the flats, if there's nobody in the flats, he'll backpedal because there's a guy directly behind him on a 12-yard out, And then if the ball's not thrown by then, once the quarterback, again, he's coming out, he's looking flats, he looks at that 12-yard route or the vertical, then he's going to look back inside. So once he's looking back inside, he's looking at the drag coming backside. So our kid, in theory, and perfect coach speak, he's going to go flat, out, drag. Okay, and as you see here in custom animation, it's exactly the drill he'll work. He'll go flat, out, drag. Okay, now the backside just does the same thing. Counter cut back reverse. What he's looking for is, as the play goes away from him, he's just looking for the backside screen. Okay, so he's going to check backside running back. Okay, here's the cone work. We do landmarks. There's the flats. That's when we're going to sprint up. And then so he's going to go flat, out, drag right here. Coach is going to flat, out, drag, checks backside screen or backside throwback. And our cover 3 pass responsibilities are Sam and Rover have curl, flat, wheel. Wheel just means out and up. The coaching points I think that allows us to be successful are, once, same thing in a 5-step drop, when the quarterback comes back and clears the running back, then our kids will shuffle. They're shuffling, reading the play. Once he clears the running back, then they're going to run over their outside shoulder at a 45-degree angle, and then again square up and box out like in basketball, looking over their outside shoulder, inside shoulder, looking for that curl. If the curl's not there and the running back has come to the flat, once they sit up, they get their eyes back on the quarterback real quick. Remember, they're going to shuffle 3, sprint 3, get their eyes back inside on the quarterback. And then what's going to happen is once the quarterback, he drops, he's looking, and his shoulders, here at a 45, he's looking downfield. When he turns his shoulders, okay, going back, when he turns his shoulders, our kid then leaves the curl and goes to the flats. Okay, we tell him, if you can't run, 8 or 10 yards by the time the quarterback takes that drop and turns his shoulders and throws it, 20 yards to the flats, it's not a 20-yard route, but it's 20 yards the ball goes in the air. If he can't get there by the time the ball's there, he needs to be on the sidelines anyway. So our curl, flat, wheel, 5 steps of play action. As the custom animation shows you here, the quarterback or the coach is going to clear the running back. When he clears the running back, we're going curl, and then once the quarterback sets up, turns his shoulders, or the coach, when he turns his shoulders, we vacate the curl, and we go to the flats. When we do our play action pass, if the running back takes he lateral steps and works the vertical, meaning fake sprint draw, and he's staying behind the quarterback, our kids will shuffle, and they don't take off running over their outside shoulder until he's cleared it. The difference between them and the linebacker, the Mike linebacker will, remember, they'll step forward, freeze, as long as that running back's behind them, and they don't drop until he clears the running back. The Sam and Rover are still dropping. They still are taking 45-degree steps because they're perimeter defenders. Anytime the ball's off the line of scrimmage, it looks like pass to them. Ball off the line of scrimmage to the Mike and Will doesn't mean pass unless the deepest running back has cleared him. 5-step drop. Again, we're going to go curl, flat, wheel. Working off. We're going to curl, flat. We're going to curl and then react to the flat when the coach turns his shoulders. Just another example, if they're running curls here to both sides, we're dropping. We're trying to hold in the curl as long as we can, and we will run to the flat when he throws it there. Here's some good video of us reacting to the flat. Okay, again, we're going to hang in the curl. When the quarterback turns his shoulders, we're going to run to the flat. See, watch, this is boot. See, this is us running to the flat there. Again, sprint out, so we're running to the flat. This is, that's the swing pass. Again, just us reacting to the flats. In our Sam and Rover blitzes, we tell our kids to, blitz. They're going to their person of responsibility. I mean, if it's cover 2, it'd be quarterback. Cover 3, it'd be the tailback. So here's a Sam, just showing you a Sam blitz, which gets us an early throw. Again, we're going to get a Sam blitz right here. Sam blitz again up top from the strong side. You know, in most cases for our Sams, they're just, you know, kids that run and our you know, headsy, gutsy kids. That kid weighed about $165. Sam will blitz. Rover right here. And we're trying to time it up to where we know their cadence after the first or second series. So when they come to the sideline, we want to know their cadence. You know, run support here out of the weak side. You know, you're showing you a rover support. Our rover will be on this side right here. You know, and he's working the slant right here. Backside rover's working the slant. So he should have been there a little quicker. I mean, he makes the hit, but I'd rather have been inside of the ball. Our free safety, he reads the tight end if he's blocking in cover 3. So we get a block, so he's going to work outside, and there's the free safety making that play on counter Trey. So Sam does his job, and the free works it down inside out. Just threw these in here so you understand how we do some read support. Read support means we're going to read the block of this tight end right here. So the rover, if he gets a block down, he's going to step. He takes on the fullback, and the corner comes up and actually takes on the backside pulling guard. Thank you for purchasing this DVD on behalf of Coach's Choice. Best luck this season, guys. Again, Greg Vandagriff. I'm at Woodward Academy in Atlanta, Georgia. If you have any questions, feel free to look me up on the internet or email me, and I'll do all I can to help you.